The Pittsburgh Steelers have always been a team defined by toughness, resilience, and a culture that demands accountability. And in recent weeks, one particular moment involving George Pickens has captured the attention of fans, analysts, and teammates alike. What seemed like a simple sideline interaction or a brief spark during practice has quickly evolved into a potential defining moment for the Steelers' locker room. George Pickens, known for his elite talent and occasional flashes of brilliance, has been under the microscope for both his on-field performances and his impact within the team dynamic. Fans are beginning to ask not just how Pickens performs on the field, but what his presence means for the culture and chemistry of one of the NFL's most storied franchises.
There's something about this specific moment that has the potential to shape the locker room atmosphere for the rest of the season and beyond, and it's a development that cannot be overlooked.
In a sport where leadership is often as critical as raw talent, moments like these serve as litmus tests for the mental and emotional fabric of a team. George Pickens has always been viewed as a high-upside player, someone capable of making game-changing plays. Yet his journey in Pittsburgh has not been without controversy or scrutiny. From the moment he arrived in the Steel City, fans and analysts have debated his consistency, questioned his dedication during practice, and speculated on how he interacts with the team's veteran leaders. However, this recent incident, or perhaps more accurately, this pivotal moment, provides insight into Pickens' evolving mindset. It is an unspoken signal to the rest of the roster. This is the type of player who not only understands his role, but is willing to step up in critical situations, rally teammates, and influence the direction of the locker room culture. For a team that has experienced its share of ups and downs, particularly in recent seasons, moments like this can be transformative. The context of the moment itself cannot be ignored. It took place during a time when the Steelers were navigating a delicate balance between integrating younger talent and relying on the wisdom of seasoned veterans. Locker rooms in the NFL are complex ecosystems, where respect is earned through both performance and the way players conduct themselves off the field. Pickens' actions, whether through a motivational gesture, a heated sideline conversation, or an act of accountability, resonated with players around him. Coaches have remarked privately that the influence of young leaders stepping into these roles often accelerates team development, and when someone like Pickens demonstrates the courage to engage directly, it sends a ripple effect throughout the locker room. In essence, this single moment may serve as a catalyst, helping to define the Steelers' identity moving forward, reinforcing the values of commitment, passion, and the relentless pursuit of success. It's important to note that George Pickens' influence is not merely symbolic. It translates into measurable impact on the field. When a player demonstrates leadership through action, it often manifests in tangible results: better communication, heightened focus, and an elevated level of accountability among teammates. The Steelers have been searching for consistent sparks of inspiration to galvanize their offense and defense, and Pickens' potential to lead by example could be exactly what the team needs. Whether it's rallying the offense during a tough series, encouraging a struggling teammate, or challenging peers to push beyond their limits, these small yet significant gestures compound over time, shaping the collective mindset of the squad. In a league where championships are often won by teams that can stay cohesive under pressure, cultivating this type of leadership is invaluable. Of course, the significance of this moment extends beyond the confines of Heinz Field or the locker room. Fans are paying attention, and social media has amplified the impact of Pickens' actions. Analysts on broadcasts and sports shows dissect every play, every interaction, and every subtle gesture that could hint at a shift in team dynamics. For Steelers supporters who live and breathe the highs and lows of the NFL season, seeing a young player embrace a leadership role is both inspiring and reassuring. It signals a commitment to the team's values and a readiness to contribute, not just in terms of statistics, but also in defining the culture. This, in turn, helps foster a sense of optimism, allowing fans to envision a team that can overcome adversity, embrace challenges, and perhaps reclaim the prominence that Pittsburgh football is historically known for.
What makes this moment even more compelling is the timing. The NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint, and locker room dynamics are constantly evolving.
Injuries, roster changes, and the pressures of high-stakes games can reveal cracks in a team's cohesion, or conversely, demonstrate resilience and unity. Pickens' behavior during this critical juncture suggests a maturity and awareness that goes beyond individual accolades.
He recognizes the weight of his influence on younger teammates, the expectations of veteran leaders, and the scrutiny of the fan base. In doing so, he positions himself as someone capable of bridging the gap between raw talent and strategic leadership, a role that could define not only his career, but also the Steelers' trajectory this season. Moreover, this moment underscores the delicate balance between individuality and teamwork in professional football. George Pickens is undeniably talented, with skills that can turn the tide of a game in an instant. Yet, the true measure of his potential impact lies in how he integrates his abilities within the team framework. Leadership in football is less about personal glory and more about inspiring others to elevate their performance.
By stepping into this role, Pickens demonstrates an understanding that success is collective, that the strength of the locker room often dictates the outcome on the field. Coaches and teammates alike have noticed this shift, acknowledging that when players take responsibility and model accountability, it creates an environment where excellence becomes the standard.
This defining moment also carries lessons for the broader sports community. It's a reminder that talent alone is not sufficient to shape a winning culture. True influence comes from consistency, courage, and the willingness to stand up when it matters most. George Pickens' journey reflects this truth, illustrating that young athletes can take control of their narrative and contribute meaningfully to team identity. For aspiring football players, sports enthusiasts, and even casual fans, it's a powerful example of how a single decision, action, or display of leadership can have a far-reaching impact. The ripples of such moments often extend well beyond the immediate team, inspiring discussions about character, responsibility, and the intangible elements that define champions. Looking ahead, the Steelers' coaching staff will undoubtedly continue to monitor and nurture the environment that allowed this moment to flourish. Establishing leadership pipelines, encouraging mentorship between veterans and young players, and fostering open communication are all strategies that can solidify the positive impact initiated by Pickens.
His peers are likely taking note, understanding that leadership is earned and that every player has the opportunity to contribute to the team's culture. By embracing this responsibility, Pickens not only elevates his own role, but also empowers others to step forward, creating a cycle of accountability and motivation that can propel the team towards its goals.
Ultimately, the significance of this George Pickens moment is multi-layered. It reflects individual growth, highlights the importance of leadership in professional sports, and illustrates how a single action can influence an entire locker room. As the Steelers move forward in the season, fans and analysts alike will watch closely, eager to see if this moment is the turning point that defines the team's identity and sets the tone for future success.
Pickens has demonstrated that talent, when paired with character and leadership, can be transformative, and his journey may serve as a blueprint for others seeking to leave a lasting impact in the NFL.
In conclusion, what unfolded with George Pickens is far more than a fleeting highlight. It is a snapshot of potential, leadership, and cultural evolution within one of football's most iconic franchises. The Steelers' locker room is a complex environment where respect, accountability, and unity determine success, and Pickens' actions suggest that he is ready to embrace that responsibility.
For fans, this is a moment of hope and excitement, signaling that the future may hold not just thrilling plays, but also a stronger, more cohesive team culture. As the season progresses, this defining moment could very well be remembered as the spark that ignited a new chapter for the Steelers, with George Pickens at the center, not just as a star on the field, but as a leader shaping the identity of the team. The implications are immense, and for Pittsburgh supporters, it's a reminder that greatness in football is about much more than talent. It's about character, influence, and the courage to step up